Today on Focal Point's special Black History Month episode, we're going to learn about the college's Center for Male Engagement program with support coach Kevin Covington, explore the Black History Month Poetry Jam, and see what students have to say about the subject of race in America today. Stay with us. Hi, welcome to Focal Point on CCPTV, the educational channel of Community College of Philadelphia. I'm Darlene Monts, a student in the Communication Arts curriculum here at CCP. We have an exciting show for you today. I'm here with Kevin Covington, support coach for the college's Center for Male Engagement program. Kevin Covington has been a support coach with the CME since the program started in the fall of 2009, mentoring African American male students as they obtain their community college degrees. He has worked in the field of education for the past 15 years as a teacher, program director, assistant principal, and dean of students prior to coming to Community College of Philadelphia. His passion is for education, ensuring that there is equal access to education for all. Welcome, Kevin.
Well, thank you, Darlene. Thank you so much for having me.
Tell us a little bit more about the Center for Male Engagement.
Well, the Center for Male Engagement is a grant-funded program here at the college. It started in fall of 2009, and it works to address the issues of low graduation rates of African American male students. We provide a range of different supports, academic support, life skills support, all with the aim and the goal to not only have African American males have access to the college, but also to help them through the process and to either be prepared for the workforce or for their four-year experience.
Wow. How did you get involved with the program?
Well, actually, I was working as Dean of Students at a charter school in Philadelphia, and a lot of the other efforts that I do outside of work at that time was around assisting African American males, not just with education, with just finding their proper place in terms of finding their success. So when I saw the posting on the CCP website, it really spoke to what I wanted to do.
Wow, and I was going to ask you that. What do you like most about being a support coach for the CME?
I love the fact that no 2 days are the same. It's always something different. Students keep you young.
Well, I tell you what, being a Black role model in today's society, what are some of the changes you'd like to see?
Oh,
in today's youth.
In today's youth.
Yes.
This is the old head version,
Yes,
component of the show.
Yes.
I think what I'd love to see is the willingness to be coachable.
Wonderful.
You're at a point in your life, especially if you're late teens, early 20s, and even beyond that, you don't know everything.
Yes.
There's a quote that I like to use, is that in youth we learn, at age we understand. So we're going through this process of learning, and we're helping these young men learn. So I'd love for folks to just be coachable. You can learn anything if you have the willingness. And in light of Black History Month, although I tend to celebrate it all the time, having a respect for how and why we're here, and having that healthy curiosity of how did we get to this point? Who did this before I did? You know, the quote of the only thing new is the history you don't know. So we have to have a genuine respect for what and who has come before us, and then have that curiosity to go back and get those lessons. Because if we don't, we're going to run in circles about trying to learn. Okay,
well, you tell me, do you introduce any of these ideals to the students you mentor in the program?
Every moment we spend with students are teachable moments. So in between meetings, as you're going from the pavilion to the Student Life Center or anywhere, could be a time that you can teach a student something. The biggest lesson that we show them and that we teach them is that we show up. Oftentimes as young men, and just young people in general, they don't have consistent adults in their lives to show up. And that's what we show them.
Let me ask you this. How do you define the term race? You know I had to ask you being a positive role model.
Well, race is a social construct.
Okay, good.
It is a way of describing a group of people based solely on physical appearance. It says nothing about their capabilities, their aptitude, their potential, nothing about that. So it's a very narrow way to describe a large group of people. And we've seen in this country it's a way of separating and oppressing people. It's sometimes can be used to describe someone's ability, their potential, when really you don't know anything about them other than the color of their skin. So I think what's really important is that we start to understand the importance of ethnicity. Good. Ethnicity then speaks to your culture. Ethnicity speaks to your geographical location or your geographical history, where you're from or where your people are from. And then we can learn more about who you are. That doesn't automatically say you're going to know who that person is, but it gives you a lot more than just knowing someone's race.
Okay, great. Well, I tell you what are your thoughts on the recent police brutality cases?
It's unacceptable.
Very good.
It has common themes. If you go historically, go through the movie Selma, you go through the civil rights movement, anytime you want to oppress someone, it seems like the police are used to do that. But I think the key is that you have to see people as human. Go beyond race, even beyond ethnicity. See people as human and treat them as you want to be treated.
That's what I was going to ask you. Do you think it was racially motivated?
I think you can't paint it with a broad brush and say every incident of police brutality is race-based.
Okay.
But I do think there are race components to certain cases.
Right.
There's that misunderstanding. I think a challenge is that the police, oftentimes, when you're looking at specific officers involved in these cases, aren't from the neighborhoods that they police. They have no ties with the neighborhood. So therefore you start to treat people as inanimate as this mug or this table. You know, I'm assuming some things about you, and then when that flies in the face of my assumption, I have then the power to oppress and beat you.
Well, you tell me this. If you could come up with a few solutions for the problem, what type of solutions would you come up to?
Community involvement with police. I think everyone, needs to have a civics 101 lesson. Exactly, try to figure out who are the powers that be, who have the right to govern, who have, what is the role of each citizen in society. We can do trainings, but that's just workplace training. What really has to be retrained is the mentality of the people who are charged with being responsible for a whole neighborhood. So that then tends to be a lot more heavy lifting than assigning Officer Smith or Officer Daniels a one-day diversity training, but you're not changing his mindset. You're not changing where he is or where she is in that. So I think the effort needs to be ongoing, and we need to not have an us versus them, but a we.
Has the CMN hosted any type of rap sessions or poetry or anything concerning this police brutality?
We have venues for students to speak their minds. So we have a sessions called Real Talk.
At the CMA?
At the CMA, at the Center for Male Engagement. So what Real Talk entails is we meet the second and fourth Thursday of the month, and the support coaches kind of facilitate. So we'll bring out a topic or two, but it's really student-led. So we talk about the Mike Brown incident. We talk about police brutality in general. We talk about, policing in your neighborhood. But we also talk about economic development in the African American community. We talk about hip hop and the hip hop culture. Talk about misogyny within the hip hop culture. And we also have these informal real talks. So we have a very hands-on approach with our students. You have to. Students need to know that they matter, that they belong, especially African-American males here. They need to know that this is one of their rightful places and it's a safe space for them. So if we're talking about police brutality, sexual orientation, whatever, they're free to talk about it in a respectful manner.
Wow. You can find out more information about the Center for Male Engagement by visiting the college website or by stopping by the office located on the first floor of the Winnett Student Life Building. Thanks for joining us, Kevin.
And thank you.
Thank you. And we're looking forward to what the CME has to offer this semester. Now let's hear what CCP students have to say about race in modern society.